Are you a cybersecurity beginner or maybe an enthusiast looking to gain experience and make some extra income? In today's video, I'm going to show you 5 lucrative cybersecurity side hustles that can help you earn as much as $100,000 a year. You don't need a degree, you don't need the traditional cybersecurity certifications that can be very, very expensive, or a long, complicated cybersecurity career path to build up to your dream position. It just requires a little bit of knowledge and maybe some additional training where it's applicable, and you can do the work that you love and earn 6 figures or more. So let's talk about 5 examples out of endless possibilities. Outlook and Office 365 are one of the most commonly used email solutions in the world, with over 400 million active users. But with that popularity comes a significant risk of cyber attacks. And that's where an Office 365 security review could come in. You can help companies by conducting a brief assessment of the organization's email and software settings to identify any vulnerabilities that could be exploited by attackers. This includes things like looking for weak passwords being allowed, unencrypted email traffic, and outdated add-ons or software. According to the 2021 Data Breach Investigation Report by Verizon, phishing attacks accounted for 36% of all breaches, and email is the primary delivery method for these kinds of attacks. By conducting an Outlook and an Office security review, you could help businesses mitigate the risk of phishing attacks and other email-based threats. Check if the email settings are configured to use the latest security protocols such as TLS encryption, and if the email server is protected by a firewall where applicable. Review password policies. Check if users are required to create strong passwords, if there are password expiration policies in place. Verify that the email client has spam filters that they're properly configured. Verify that email filtering is in place and configured and it's working properly. This might take active phishing simulations to test those filters. You could take those tests a step further and conduct phishing simulations to test the email user's ability to recognize and respond to phishing emails. Follow these best practices and you can help businesses strengthen their Office 365 and Outlook security and reduce their risk of cyber attacks. Much like you can conduct reviews of Outlook and Office 365, you can do the same for G Suite. G Suite is a cloud-based suite of productivity tools. These include email, document storage, and collaboration software. It's used by millions of businesses worldwide. With any cloud-based service, there are inherent security risks, and that's where your G Suite security review could come in and help businesses. You could offer the organization an assessment of their G Suite settings to identify any vulnerabilities that could be exploited by cybercriminals. This could include things like weak passwords, unsecured data storage, inappropriate access permissions. Assess data security settings. Check if the data stored in G Suite is encrypted, if access is restricted on a need-to-know basis to authorized users only. Are there excessive sharing? Review password policies. Check that the users are required to create strong passwords. Again, are there password expiration policies in place? Check that two-factor authentication is enabled and enforced to add an extra layer of security to their software. Look at things like access permissions. Verify that access permissions to different G Suite components and data sets are properly configured and that users have access only to the tools that they need to do their job. And here again, you could offer an add-on service to conduct phishing simulations to test the G Suite user's ability to respond and recognize. If you follow those practices, you could help businesses strengthen their G Suite security and reduce their risk of an attack. Next up is DNS reviews. DNS, or domain name systems, is a critical component of the internet infrastructure that translates domain names into IP addresses. And there are many components, some complex, of DNS that need to be configured correctly. Because of this, DNS can also be a target for cybercriminals seeking to exploit vulnerabilities and launch attacks. You could help organizations perform DNS security assessments. These are very easy to do. You can look at their DNS infrastructure to identify vulnerabilities that could be exploited by attackers. 22% of breaches, based on that Verizon report, involved phishing attacks, which could be exploited by DNS vulnerabilities, weaknesses, or misconfiguration. Check if the DNS server is protected by protocols such as DNSSEC or DANE. Review DNS records. Check if DNS records are properly configured. Are there any discrepancies or errors? Are SPF records configured too broadly, which could lead to attacks? On internal networks, you could check for DNS cache poisoning. Is the DNS server vulnerable to DNS amplification, which could lead to a launch of a distributed denial of service attack on the organization? If you do this, you could help businesses strengthen their DNS security and reduce the risk of DNS attacks. One-on-one tutoring is a great way for cybersecurity enthusiasts and beginners to share their knowledge with others who know less than them. You can help them improve their skills, and you can make extra income doing this. Unlike traditional classroom settings, one-on-one tutoring offers personalized attention tailored to the individual's specific needs and goals. Who could benefit from one-on-one tutoring? Anyone looking to improve their skills and knowledge in the field could benefit. This includes students, professionals, and even other hobbyists. Current cybersecurity professionals looking to specialize in a particular area different than what they already know, or even small business owners looking to improve their organization's security posture. Some topics that you could cover in one-on-one tutoring sessions are networking. Help them learn about network architecture and protocols, tools that can be used to secure and monitor networks. Malware analysis. Help them learn about malware types, the behavior of malware, techniques used to analyze and to reverse engineer it. Cryptography. Teach them cryptographic concepts such as algorithms, the protocols used to secure data and communications at rest or in transit. Penetration testing. Teach penetration testing methodologies, tools, and the techniques used to identify vulnerabilities and test the security defenses of an organization. There's incident response. Teach incident response procedures and tools used to detect, to investigate, and to remediate cybersecurity incidents. And with the demand for cybersecurity professionals growing rapidly, there's never been a better time to share your expertise and to help other people succeed in this exciting field. Writing security policies is a crucial aspect of any organization's cybersecurity strategy. Policies help establish the guidelines and the best practices for that organization to ensure the protection of sensitive information, compliance with industry regulations, and the prevention of cyber threats. Many small to mid-sized companies lack the expertise to create comprehensive security policies, and that's where you could step in as a cybersecurity side hustler or contract worker. Take time to understand the client's needs, understand their business and the specific security needs they have before you even begin crafting policies. What compliance obligations do they have? What legal obligations do they have? And from there, you can craft effective policies to guide their security. Research and follow industry standards and regulations to ensure that the policies you create are comprehensive and effective. Make them clear and easy to understand so that they can be easily understood and implemented by everyone in the company. Now, here's an added benefit where you can make even more income. Many times, these policies need to be updated on an annual or more frequent basis. Help the clients ensure that their policies are updated regularly to keep up with the changing industry standards, regulations, or the technology that is evolving in the company. You could conduct cloud configuration reviews for services like AWS, Google Cloud, or Azure. As more and more businesses move their infrastructure to the cloud, cloud security has become a top concern for many organizations. An AWS or Azure configuration review is basically an assessment of the organization's cloud infrastructure, looking to identify any vulnerabilities that could be exploited by cyber criminals. This could include things like misconfigured access permissions, unsecured data storage, or a lack of encryption protocols. There is a little more knowledge involved, but you can easily find free courses and free certifications on AWS, Azure, and Google so that you can learn what is necessary to be secure in the cloud. Check if access permissions are properly configured and if users have access only to the resources that they need to do their jobs. Check if data stored on the cloud platform is actually encrypted. Is access restricted to only authorized users? Ensure that identity and access management is properly configured, including multi-factor authentication. Are there unused or outdated users that need to be removed? Test the backups and the disaster recovery procedures to ensure that they're effective, they're reliable, and they're actually doing what the organization thinks they're doing. Make sure that network security settings are properly configured, including things like firewalls, intrusion detection systems, intrusion prevention systems, restrictions on SSH, root user access, what IP addresses they can connect from. What's the next step for you? Take action. Start by identifying the side hustle that best fits your skills and your interest, or go get some training. Learn more about one of these side hustles that you want to pursue. Then begin marketing your services to potential clients and building your reputation as a cybersecurity professional. The demand for cybersecurity work is growing rapidly, and there's never been a better time to be involved in this exciting field. So don't wait. Start your security side hustle. Take that first step towards a rewarding career in this industry. And if you want some practical strategies and techniques for connecting with potential clients, be sure and check out this video, and I will walk you through several ways that you can actually interface with clients to get new work.